Yeah.
How you going, guys? It's the Board Game Bully. Not here with a review today, but here more with, I guess, a PSA. How do you spot a fake board game? I have a very real Terraforming Mars here. Oh my lord. Oh, my thumb is in so much pain. And a very fake Terraforming Mars right here. As you can see at first glance, if you don't have the two to compare, that's going to be pretty hard to tell the difference between the two. So, we've got some tips here on how you can save yourself from supporting black market games. And we don't even have to go to comparing the boxes here for the first couple. So the first one is price. If you see a game for a price that looks like it's too good to be true, boot up Board Game Oracle. Make sure you set the location for where you live, because you don't want to be looking at American prices if you live in Australia. Obviously with the exchange rate, a fake game price would look about right if you were accidentally looking at American prices. So boot up Board Game Oracle, have a look. The cheapest I could find was $85 plus $6.95 shipping. So that's $91. That Terraforming Mars, the fake one that I picked up, was $45. Just between you and me, if you find a game for half the price of the cheapest available, you're not a genius. You're not the best shopper that's ever lived. You're just getting ripped off. Now, you might be asking, well, why'd you buy it then? Well, I knew it was fake, but $45 is $45. I had never bought a fake game before, and I wanted to compare the two. My friend has a copy of Terraforming Mars. I don't. I was like, oh, I'll get it just to compare it. And, you know, if you look at it from like 800 yards away, it matches up. But when you look at it a little bit closer, you start to see the problem. So the first thing to do is price. Check your prices. If you find something that is too good to be true, it is. Second thing, location. Where are you buying your game from? I bought this game from what is in essence a $2 shop, cash only, no receipts. Come on, like what do you expect? It's not a game shop. It had like 5 games. It had Terraforming Mars, it had Azul, it had Cards Against Hogwarts or something like that. So it just had this weird random selection of 5 games on a table in the middle of this store that's selling like knickknacks, that doesn't give receipts, doesn't accept cards, deals only in cash. Not exactly instilling confidence in me. I don't know about you, but I'd definitely be wanting to double check that there. Now, there was one thing, one potential saving grace, even though I knew it was fake, there was one potential saving grace with this Terraforming Mars that could have justified the $45 price, and this is where you could get caught up. See this? We'll have a closer look at it later, but you see this damage here and a little bit of box damage here as well. Now you can, if you buy a game over Amazon and it comes with that amount of box damage on it, you can send them pictures and they will let you keep the game and completely refund the price to you. I mean, I'm sure there are limits and I'm sure you just can't keep doing it, otherwise they're going to call shenanigans, but you can get, if your game comes damaged, you can get it for free. So looking at that damage on that box, yeah, it might justify the half price discount if it was being sold in a legitimate game store. This wasn't. It wasn't the only copy, so definitely not the case. But let's move in a little bit closer to the table and let's have a look at the boxes, compare them a little bit closer, and we can see some other things that we need to be looking for if it is being sold in a legitimate spot and you're still a little bit iffy. Alright, so here we have a close-up of the boxes. Real box on the left, fake box on the right. Now, immediately we're seeing a change in colour. Now, you're seeing that change in colour because what someone has done is they've taken a legitimate copy of this and they have scanned all of this stuff. Then, they've lost quality on the scan, obviously, which changes the colour. Then, they have printed it with a low quality printer as well, which has also changed the color because they haven't been able to exactly color match what they're getting there due to, you know, their ink choices. So that's the first thing you can do, and that's a pretty easy one to check. You can just go to Board Game Geek, look at some pictures of the box and see if your color matches up. Now we're going to go to the company logo. So let's zoom in here. Stronghold Games. You can see the company logo right there in the bottom. It is a castle with a white circle, a red square, and Stronghold Games written underneath it. Now, let's have a look at... Oh, that's different. No circle, really. It's a castle behind a sunrise. No red at all to be seen there. And Stronghold Games appears in the... like inside the icon as opposed to outside of the icon on the real copy. Now again, not hard to look up a company logo. I don't know why they've made that choice. I went looking to see if Stronghold Games had changed their logo or anything like that. I couldn't find that they had. Maybe I'm wrong, but yeah, it's just an odd choice there. Possibly that the art that they had wasn't scanned from a box, but it was scanned from a PDF file or something like that, and it didn't have the logos on there, so they've had to go in and manually add them. Now we go and look in the bottom left here, where we've got Fricks Games, Indie Boards and Cards. Now if we go back over here, look at that. Not only is the icon smaller, it doesn't have the 3D effect of Fricks Games on the other board. It also is missing Indie Boards and Cards. So as you can see, just from looking at the boxes, we are missing quite a lot of information there, and there are quite a lot of differences. Now we're not going to go into the box and we're not going to compare the component goods, because if the game that you're purchasing isn't shrink wrapped, then it's not real, or it's a second-hand game. But you're never really going to be in an instance where you can compare the components, because no shop is going to let you break the shrink just to be like, hey man, can I check the cards? I want to see if they're legit. They'll just tell you to please leave their store. So, flip over the real one, flip over the fake one, and let's have a look here. To be honest, the back is pretty good. I mean, you've got the same issues with the logo here. They've actually got the Fricks Games logo a little bit better on this one than they do on the back. But as you can see, the real one here has 3. You've got the game designer, graphic designer, the address for Stronghold Games, and a warning. Here, they've also put the address for the graphic designer. So, you know, that's nice of them, but not listed on the original game. So again, they've added extra detail there for some reason, who knows why. And then again, we've just got the same washed out color issues. Everything else is correct though. You know, the contents listed is correct. There's no weird typos or anything like this. So this very much is just a complete copy. Some of those changes on there is a question mark to me. Maybe they're trying to skirt some laws by changing just enough. I'm not exactly sure how black market game law works. You can see here even the barcodes are identical. The stock numbers are identical, so it's just a clear scan there. But yeah, that is... So, what have we got? We've got price, location, we have in shrink. That's an important one. If it's not in shrink, don't buy it. We've got the color palette. You know, in a black market one, you're probably going to see a more washed out, poorer color palette because they haven't used expensive printers. You've got logos, and you just have information on the back of the box. So there are 6 really quick ways that you can look at a board game if it seems too good to be true and figure out if it is or not. Now you might be asking, if these are so close and if the contents of the game are the same, why shouldn't I buy a game for $45? Well, if you keep doing that, then people are going to stop designing games. There is a reason that Terraforming Mars costs $90. That's because of the time that went into creating the game, the time that goes into shipping the game here, the cost that goes into shipping the game, the production cost, the import taxes. They all have to be paid by someone. And if we just start picking up black market games, well, then the real games are going to stop coming out because there's no money in them, and then there'll be no games for anyone to black market. So there's your after school special part of the video.